You know what's funny? I spent $2,400 last winter on propane. $2,400 gone. And my neighbor, old order Amish, been farming the same land since 1987. His heating bill? Zero. Absolute zero. And it's not because he's burning wood. It's not a fireplace. The man is running a 2-ingredient liquid fuel system that's been documented since the 1850s. Costs about $0 or 40 a gallon to make, and produces serious, consistent combustible heat. They don't want you to know this, and I mean that literally. I'm going to show you exactly who they are and what they did in 2005, to make sure you never figured it out on your own. Here's the villain in this story. It's not one company, it's a coalition. The National Propane Gas Association, working hand in glove with the EPA regulatory framework that got rewritten in 2005 under the Energy Policy Act. Here's what they did, and I want you to pay attention to the technical detail here because this is the proof. Before 2005, you could buy a listed UL-approved residential burner that ran on what's called a denatured alcohol and water emulsion, specifically a 70-30 blend, 70% anhydrous ethanol, 30% distilled water. These were sold legally under the trade name Bioflame and several others. They burned clean. CO emissions under 5 parts per million. No flue required in most jurisdictions. After the 2005 Energy Policy Act, the EPA reclassified the venting requirements for any fuel-burning appliance sold in the residential market. The reclassification didn't target these burners by name, but it made the certification pathway so expensive that every small manufacturer making alcohol emulsion heaters folded within 18 months. Every single one. The big propane distributors didn't have to lift a finger. The regulatory cost did the work for them. That's the trap they set. That's the machine. And the Amish stepped right around it because they never needed a listed appliance in the first place. They build their own. Here's what smart mechanics already know and what the dealers will never tell you. Ethanol and water don't just mix. At the right ratio, they depresses each other's vapor pressure in a way that makes the blend burn slower, cooler at the container, and more completely than straight alcohol. This is called an azeotropic suppression effect, and it's documented in NFPA 30B, the code that covers aerosol and flammable liquid storage. The Amish aren't doing anything exotic. They're using a wick-fed or gravity-fed burner. Think of it like a simple oil lamp scaled up, running on this 70-30 ethanol water blend. The water in the mix is doing 2 things. It's acting as a thermal buffer to prevent runaway combustion, and it's the reason this fuel doesn't produce carbon monoxide in any meaningful quantity. The hydrogen and oxygen in that water molecule get pulled into the combustion cycle, and the burn goes to CO2 and H2O instead of hanging as CO. I've got a buddy who runs a fleet shop, 22 trucks, does his own heating in the shop with a modified torpedo heater, running on this exact blend. He built the mixing rig himself. PVC manifold, 2 food-grade barrels, a $40 refractometer to check his ethanol concentration. That's it. This is why mechanics buy old equipment. Old torpedo heaters, pre-2005 units, had brass jet assemblies and stainless bowls that can handle ethanol without corroding. A post-2010 unit has aluminum jets treated for petroleum distillates. Run ethanol through those, and you're eating your jet in 6 months. The government does not want you to know the specific pre-2005 units that work, so I'm going to tell you. All right, exact fix, specific years and models. Here's what to look for. The fuel. 2 ingredients. Ingredient 1, anhydrous ethanol. This is at least 190 proof grain alcohol or industrial denatured alcohol, IDA, rated at 95% or higher ethanol content. You can source this from agricultural supply. It's sold as equipment sanitizer or fuel additive, Tractor Supply, some farm and fleet locations, or directly from ethanol distributors. You're looking for anything labeled denatured alcohol, anhydrous, or SDA40B, which is the industrial grade. Ingredient 2, distilled water, not tap, distilled. Mineral content in tap water will calcify your wick or jet over time. Your blend, 70 parts ethanol, 30 parts distilled water by volume. Mix it in a sealed container, a $30 refractometer, the kind used for checking antifreeze or battery acid, will read your ethanol concentration. So you want 68-72%. That's your working window. For torpedo-style shop heaters, you want pre-2005 units with brass jets. The ones I've personally verified work. Ready Heater Pro 1 to 10 from before 2003. Cast aluminum body, brass jet assembly. These show up on Facebook Marketplace and estate sales constantly. You're looking for the ones with the circular wick tower and the gravity feed bowl, around $40, $80 used. Master Heater MH75, the older steel body version, not the plastic trim units from after 2007. The steel ones have a stainless combustion bowl. Pair it with an ethanol-rated wick. Look for 100% fiberglass wick material, no synthetic blend. For indoor heating, small rooms, cabins, workshops, the gravity wick table burners. These are essentially large alcohol lamps. The Amish use them with a ceramic surround for radiant heat. You can build one with a mason jar, a brass fitting, a fiberglass wick, and a steel mixing bowl from a kitchen store. Total cost, under $15. What to look for when buying used? Check the jet orifice. On brass jets, it should be bright and circular. No pitting, no green oxidation. Green means someone ran water-contaminated fuel through it. Check the wick tower for rust. Surface rust is fine. Structural rust means the unit's compromised. Check the fuel bowl seam. Pre-2005 units used brazed seams. Post-2005 switched to crimped aluminum. Brazed seams handle ethanol. Crimped aluminum does not long-term. Before they ban this information entirely, and there are ongoing EPA comment periods about tightening VOC classifications on ethanol blends in non-listed appliances, get your equipment and get your supply chain sorted now. They want you trapped. They want you on a metered line, paying a distributor, beholden to a delivery schedule, locked into a contract. Propane infrastructure exists to extract money from you every single winter for the rest of your life. The regulatory changes in 2005 weren't about safety. CO emissions from a 70-30 ethanol water blend are lower than a candle. They were about eliminating competition. The Amish figured this out, not because they're anti-technology. They're not. They figured it out because they never outsourced their judgment to a corporation or a regulatory body. They looked at the chemistry, they looked at the cost, and they made a decision. Here's how you fight back. 1. Get your ethanol source lined up now. Agricultural suppliers, not hardware stores. 2. Find your pre-2005 heater. Estate sales, marketplace, farm auctions. 3. Mix a test batch, 5 gallons. Run it. Check your CO with a $20 detector. Watch it flatline. And then come back here and tell me what you paid per BTU compared to propane. I want the numbers in the comments. Real numbers. What you spent, what you got, what your setup cost. Because that information spreading from mechanic to mechanic is exactly what they don't want happening. Share this before they pull it. Subscribe if you want the follow-up where I show the full burner build. Under $30, runs all winter. Next video, building the $28 ethanol burner. Full shop heat, no gas line, no contract. Total estimated runtime at natural speaking pace, 150 WPM, 18-20 minutes. You said 1,000 more, there's 1,000 more, 7.56. PM slot responded, extended cut, full deep dive edition, 1,000 words, 7 minutes. Extended cut, full deep dive edition, 1,000 words, for 7 minutes. They did see 9 to 30. The chemistry they buried in plain sight. Let me go deeper on the science because I want you to understand why this works. Not just that it works. Because when you understand the chemistry, nobody can talk you out of it. Not a dealer, not a fire marshal who hasn't read the actual NFPA data, nobody. Ethanol's heat of combustion is 29.7 megajoules per kilogram. Propane is 50.3. So yeah, propane has more BTUs per pound. That's real. Anyone telling you ethanol matches propane pound for pound is lying to you. You're not buying propane by the pound. You're buying it by the gallon. And more importantly, you're paying for delivery infrastructure, tank rental, hazmat handling margin, and a distribution network that's been monopolized in most rural counties down to 1 or 2 suppliers. Your propane price includes all of that overhead baked in. Ethanol at 190 proof, sourced agricultural, runs between $3.50 and $5 a gallon depending on your state and your source. After your 30% water cut, your effective fuel cost drops further because you're stretching the volume. And your combustion efficiency in a wick-fed gravity system, no blower motor, no igniter drawing current, no pressure regulator to replace, runs clean and steady without the parasitic losses of a forced air system. When you do the real math, BTUs delivered per dollar spent, not BTUs per pound of fuel, the gap closes significantly. In some setups, it inverts. That's the number they don't want you running. Let me tell you exactly what an Amish heating setup looks like, because I've been inside 3 of them in Pennsylvania and 1 in Ohio, and these are not primitive rigs. The core unit is what they call a mantle burner. Same operating principle as a Coleman lantern, scaled up. You've got a brass or copper feed tube, gravity fed from a sealed reservoir mounted above. The reservoir is typically a 1-gallon formed copper tank. Some of the older ones are actual repurposed dairy equipment fittings. Below that, a ceramic fiber wick draws fuel up into a combustion chamber lined with a refractory brick insert. The refractory brick is the key detail most people miss. It stores heat. Once that brick comes up to temperature, it takes about 12 minutes from cold start. It's radiating infrared even when the flame is at its lowest setting. You're not just heating air, you're heating mass. The room holds temperature longer because the walls, the floor, the furniture are absorbing radiant heat directly. That's the same principle behind a masonry heater, a Russian fireplace, a Kochlofen, all documented, all legal, all operating on physics that predate the EPA by about 400 years. The Amish didn't invent this, they just never stopped using it. I've seen guys try this and screw it up, so let me save you the headache. Mistake 1, wrong ethanol grade. If you grab hardware store denatured alcohol, clean strip, the stuff in the paint aisle, check the label. A lot of those products are 50% ethanol, 30% methanol, 20% acetone, or MEK. Methanol burns hotter and produces formaldehyde as a combustion byproduct. You don't want that in an enclosed space. You want SDA 40B or food grade 190 proof. Read the SDS sheet. If methanol is listed above 5%, find a different source. Mistake 2, using synthetic wicks. I said this earlier, and I'll say it again because people skip it. Fiberglass only. Synthetic wicks, polyester, cotton poly blends will char at the ethanol burn temperature, and you'll be replacing your wick monthly and wondering why your flame is guttering and smelling wrong. Pure fiberglass wicks are sold for bioethanol fireplace inserts. That's your search term, bioethanol fireplace wick. You'll find them. Mistake 3, wrong water. One guy in a forum I follow ran his rig with well water for a season. By February, his jet orifice was half clogged with calcium deposits, and his wick had a mineral crust that was strangling the fuel draw. Distilled only. A gallon of distilled water is 1.29 at any grocery store. There's no reason to cut this corner. Mistake 4, skipping the CO detector. I'm not saying this because ethanol produces heavy CO. It doesn't, at proper mixture. I'm saying it because if your mixture is off, if your wick is degraded, if your combustion chamber is getting restricted airflow, CO can climb. A $20 detector is your safety margin. Safety. Mount it at breathing height, not ceiling height. CO is slightly lighter than air, but in a cold room it stratifies differently than people expect. Breathing height. Check it the first 3 burns of every season. I want to step back for 1 second because this isn't really about propane. Propane is just the example on the table today. This is about the pattern. You've seen this pattern before. Right to repair. They locked you out of your own ECU and told you it was for emissions compliance. The real reason was dealer service revenue. $180 an hour versus you doing it in your driveway for the cost of a $12 scan tool. Fuel additives. There are documented peer-reviewed studies on acetone as a combustion catalyst in gasoline engines going back to the 1970s. Studies out of the Southwest Research Institute. Add 1 to 2 ounces per 10 gallons. You're looking at measurable octane improvement and better atomization at the injector tip. Does any dealer, any fuel supplier, any manufacturer's manual mention it? No, because it means you buy less fuel. This ethanol water system is the same playbook. It's not dangerous. It's documented. It's been running in bioethanol fireplace. Inserts sold at Restoration Hardware in Williams-Sonoma for 15 years. Your wife might have one in your living room right now and not know it. The exact same fuel, the exact same combustion principle. But the moment you scale it up to serious heat output and cut the propane company out of your life, suddenly it's fringe, it's dangerous, it's something they want to regulate out of existence. The Amish don't fight that fight. They don't write letters to the EPA. They just build their own equipment, mix their own fuel, heat their own homes, and watch their neighbors pay $2,400 a winter for the privilege of being on the grid. You've got the same option. You've always had the same option. Before I let you go, here's your full list. Screenshot this. Fuel. SDA 40, B, anhydrous ethanol, or 190 proof food grade. 70% ethanol, 30% distilled water. Refractometer to verify. Target 68, 72% ethanol. Hardware. Pre-2005 torpedo heater with brass jet, or build a gravity wick mantle burner. Fiberglass wick only. Refractory insert recommended for radiant efficiency. Safety. CO detector at breathing height. First 3 burns of the season, door cracked. Monitor for 20 minutes. After that, you'll know your rig. Sourcing. Agricultural supply for ethanol. Tractor supply, farm and fleet, or direct from a local ethanol distributor. Call them. Tell them you want SDA 40B in 5-gallon containers. Most of them will sell direct. Cost target, all in, first setup, under $120. Ongoing fuel cost, $3 to $5 per gallon effective. 1 gallon runs a 200 square foot space for approximately 6 to 8 hours in a wick system. That's your number. Run it against your propane bill. Comments are open. Tell me what you're paying, tell me what your setup looks like, and tell me what questions I didn't answer. Because the follow-up build video is coming, and I want it built around what you actually need to know. Let's go build something.